Hi, everybody. It's Heather, the expat entrepreneur, and I'm coming to you again today with a live update on my account and sharing my crypto journey with you. As you may recall, I got involved in crypto about 3 months ago. Up until that point, I knew next to nothing about it. It was in June that I paid full price to become a plan member, the plan with Dan Hollings, and I've been using his strategies ever since to grow my capital and learn and use his information to actually get trade crypto coins. And I'm going to share those with you. And that's what this whole series is meant to be. I want to document my entire crypto journey and share it with you and be totally transparent and open and let you see my results, my accounts, how much money I'm making or losing, and so that you can see and have a really good idea of exactly what it takes and what this is going to be potentially be for you maybe in your life. So on that note, I just want to share my screen quickly with you here and start out by letting you know my disclaimer that I am not a licensed or certified investment advisor or tax accountant. I'm not licensed to give investment advice, and this is not investment advice. It's for educational and entertainment purposes only. If you do decide to invest in crypto, you could lose all of your money. It is possible. And I strongly recommend that if you do want to move forward, that you do your own research and that you seek out the advice of a licensed professional in your jurisdiction who's qualified to advise you. So on that note, let me just go ahead and share my actual Bitsgap screen and account. And Bitsgap is the software that we use in order to execute the information that we've learned in the plan. That's the platform that Dan has worked with and been able to show us how to use it to make this crypto trading a reality for us. And so I'm going to show you mine, but before I do, I just want to let you know I have a couple of Bitsgap accounts, and I've got a couple of demos going on at all times. And if you do want to do the same thing and try getting the Bitsgap account and be trying out a demo for yourself, a couple of demo bots, you definitely can. But you must, if you want to actually join the plan, you must use the link that Dan provides to open your Bitsgap account. And from my understanding, the platform that you actually get access to is different if you're a plan member than what the rest of the public has. So you're going to want to make sure that you are under his link. And if you don't know, just reach out to me. I can get that to you. And whether you've bought the plan already not now, or you're thinking about doing it, and you just want to have a look around, that's fine too. You may as well click the right link in the first place. So let me know if you need that. I'd be happy to help you. And I will just take us over to my screen here. Okay, here we go. So this is one of my demo accounts in Bitsgap. If I scroll down here, I'm going to start by showing you the numbers. What we see down here, these are 5 different coin pairings that I have trading right now. And we call each one of those a bot. So when Dan says that you need $3,000 for one bot, that's one of these. So in this case, if this was a real account, this should represent $15,000. If you have more than that you want to invest, you would get the next level up of the Bitsgap software, which is, I think it's 120. This costs $44 a month, by the way, because Dan's got a little bit of a discount for us when we do the smaller version of the plan. If you want to get the bigger one, if you've got more money that you want to invest, the larger one for $120 a month, I believe it is, will let you do up to 15 bots, which is a lot of money. So with this one at 5 bots, each one of these does, in this case, for this demo, represent $3,000 invested. So what I want to show you is that, let's just look at this top one. You can see that the average trading time is written right underneath here. And right now, of all of these bots, the longest one is 22 days and 1 hour. And if we just look at the top here, the sum bot profit, that's a summary of how much profit you have at this moment in time. And so right now I've made $1,762, which is an 11.45% return. So as we look down, this first one was only put on, it's not even 2 days old. So it's it's only profited $42, which is 1.42%. And it's only done 212 transactions. And this is a very interesting column to keep an eye on, because as you see it, it will grow and grow and grow. And I don't know if you saw my other video where I did a huge update on this great coin pairing that I stumbled onto, which was one of Dan's recommended coin pairings, because that's a service that he provides in the plan. And it's I made $6 grand in 6 days, which is fabulous. And it ended up having something like 14,000 transactions. So that's what we mean about the wiggle. And the more up and down, the more transactions and buys and sells that it's doing, the better. And maybe just before I carry on with these numbers, I'll just show you this particular graph here and give you a better explanation. Because what you've got here before you bought in is the candles. And then when the trade was executed and you actually got into this particular coin pairing, that's when those circles appear, the red and the green circles. And so they are buys and sells. And every time you have a green circle, it is, sorry, I'm trying to, there we go, it's better. Every time you have a green circle, that is a buy, and a red circle is a sell. So every red dot is money in your pocket, baby, which is awesome, because there's a ton of them all the time. And they're pennies, you know, they're 10 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents here and there, but it keeps coming and coming and coming and adding up and gets put automatically into your balance. It's not held for one, you know, a day down the road where you've got to wait until you can take it out, or else you pay a penalty and all that. It's not like that at all. You can take your money whenever you want, which is awesome, and do whatever you want with it too. So back here, so yeah, if we look at the next one, it's also just 2 days old. They were both put on together, and this one is doing a little bit better. It's $107, so that's pretty good, and for a 3.56% rate of return. I'm liking that, because that's realistic and something that I think you could easily achieve on a regular basis. And if we look at this chart, yeah, it's looking really nice. So incidentally, all of these parameters for figuring out things that you might not mean anything to you right now, but there's a grid step involved in there, and there's also grid levels, and there's upper prices and lower prices, and that's where the secret sauce is that Dan has come up with, by the way. There are lots of people who are trying to figure this out, right? And for Dan, I mean, he spent 3 years and $5 million perfecting this to the point where he can give us this information, these parameters. We can set up this automation, these AI bots, and send them out to do our trading while we go away and live our life, right? It's such a small amount of time that it requires from you to actually do this stuff. And when I put these 2 trades on 2 days ago, or one in day and 2 hours, 21 hours ago, this took me about 10 minutes, maybe, like not a lot of time at all. In fact, we estimate that if you're spending more than 1 hour per week, not per day, per week on this, you're probably, you know, doing extra stuff that's not mandatory, which is fine. But the whole point of it is that you can carry this on in such a tiny amount of time. Anybody could fit it into their schedule. And I'll just say too, as far as the actual getting up to speed and learning, the training program is about 15 hours. So it's delivered one module per week live by Dan. And then there's also a Q&A session with that's called office hours, that where you can ask questions after that, not the same time, another day. But the thing is, this is about the equivalent of about a weekend, you guys, right? So you could think of it in those terms, that if you can devote the amount of time that's about a weekend to learning this, you will then have this skill that you can use for the rest of your life to in a very small amount of time to make this kind of residual income. So in less than an hour a week, I'm making $1,763 over 22 days. So that's pretty good in 3 weeks time. Like that's a great hourly rate. So let's look at the next one here, which has been on a little bit longer, which has got, it's interesting. And I like this one. It's been on for 22 days and 1 hour. It's made me $700 in 22 days. And so that's a 23.44% rate of return. And on this one, I should have clicked it sooner. We've had 3,987 transactions. So if we go up and have a look at the graph here, you can see it's been pretty active and pretty busy. And there was a huge jump back here. And if we want to, whoops, sorry about that. If we want to reduce the size, we can. You do get used to this. I'm still not 100% used to exactly which way to, because I use a trackpad, so it's not an actual rolling mouse. So I've got a different kind of bit of learning to do there. But if you keep making it smaller, 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 you can see eventually where you get in, which is right here, because the candles turn into the dots. And that's when it starts just wiggling back and forth like crazy. And in this case, it's doing nicely. And what's interesting is when you see that it's going down a lot, right? Like, look at this trend. So just after I bought in, it shot up, and then it's clearly tracking down, right? Like, it's been going, the trend is down, even though there are a couple of ups, it goes back down. And there's a couple of ups and it goes back down. And look at this, even with that, I've still profited 23%. I've still made $700 because of this system, because every time there's a red dot, that is a sell, and that's money in my pocket. So it's automatically putting money in there. And that's why it's such a beautiful system compared to the thing that most of us usually do, which is buy and hold, buy and hope, right? That it's going to go up, that your hope you bought low and hope that you sold high. Forget that. Let's do something like this instead, where it doesn't matter if it goes up or down. We're making money either way, even going sideways, this little tiny bit. I mean, that to me makes a lot more sense. And especially when you consider the fact that when you're in the trade anyway, if it does happen to go up and you did buy low and it goes high, you're going to profit from that as well. So it's the best of both worlds, you see. It's just a beautiful system that enables us to realistically and reliably make passive income, because those coins are going to keep on wiggling. That's for sure. And that's the term that Dan uses. Let's get wealthy with the wiggle. And as those coins keep on wiggling, your automation, I call them AI bots, your AI army, that you set up these parameters. That is not difficult. It's like 7 or 8 steps, because Dan's already figured it out and given us the information that we need to do it. That's why. That's what we're paying for in the plan. You're paying for speed. You're paying for somebody who's gone through the hard way, 3 years and $5 million. If you've got that kind of time and that kind of money to blow on trying it your own self, to find it yourself, then by all means go ahead. But if you're like most of the rest of us, and especially like me, I do not have time to spare and money to burn. I want to know how to do something right now. I don't want to waste time trying to figure it out myself. So yeah, that's what the plan will do for you. It'll give you the information you need to do stuff like this, to make trades like this, so that you can start having this extra passive income, or start building it up for something big that you want to buy, or whatever the case might be. For me, it's going to be supplementing lifestyle. And I'm just so excited, as you can tell. So let's carry on and see. So on this one, you can see it says that it's out of range. And I was going to mention that because there's no green. And just, you might not have noticed. So let me go back up to the one we saw before that. And you'll see there's red and green. And that's part of the perfection in the system that Dan has created for us. He figures it out and shows us how we put the exact amount on. Because without it, your trade is not going to go and keep giving you money, keep sending you profit on the up and the down. So it's important. And sometimes things happen, and sometimes the coin pairing goes out of the range, which is what's happened here on this one. And it even says that range. It's still trading, everything's still fine. It didn't here. You can see this little bit right here when it went well below, but it just sat there and waited. That's all. So there's a couple of things I could do here in this scenario. I could leave it and wait and see if it's going to jump back into range, which is what I'll probably do, because usually that's what Dan's recommendation is. People are texting and emailing constantly. Oh my God, something's happened in my account, this, that, the other. And 9 times out of 10, the answer is just wait. just hold on and wait. And one of the hardest things that we have to do when we're doing this whole system is to just be patient and wait and let it ride out, let it come back or do what it needs to do. Except if you happen to luck out and get one of those ones where it's $6,000 in 6 days. I didn't have to wait for very much for that, except I couldn't sleep because I wanted to get up and see what it did the next morning, you know, in the next 24 hours, and the next 24 hours, and the next 24 hours. It's $1,000, $1,000, $1,000. It's like, whoa, amazing. Anyway, let me get back to this video. Sorry, you should watch that if you haven't already seen it, because I'm pretty excited and show you every step of the way how that goes. So yeah, what you could do in this case, I'm going to let it ride and see how it goes. But if it did get out of range for a period of time and I wasn't making any money, what I would either do at that point is I would look at figuring out how to recalibrate this trade, how to regrid it using Dan's parameters as well, or I could end it. I could close this trade down, have all my money put back in my account, including the original trading capital, by the way, because the profits are already going into my account. They're already there. And then I could do a new one. So those are the decisions that you need to make. And you can see that these two here that are less than 2 days old, that's exactly what I did 2 days ago. I canceled 2 of my existing trades because they weren't really performing the way I wanted them to. I think I can probably do better. I'm going to try. And I put these ones on instead. And by the way, the second one here, I'm liking it. $100 in basically 2 days, $50 a day. That's really nice and steady. And if you could have a few like that, it's wonderful. I'll pull up my calculator and do a little calculation for you just to see how this actually would play out. So let's look at this one, number 2 here, that's done $100 in 2 days. Let's call it 2 days. We're only a couple hours away. So let's say this 3.56% is what you got over 2 days time. So what we want to do is divide that and figure out what is our 1 day rate of return. So divide that by 2, and that means that we're getting a 1.78% return daily on this. And if you times that by 30, you'll see what your return is over the course of a month, which is 53% return. Wow. Where are you going to get that? Like, really, where? You know? And so if each one of these bots, I told you in the beginning, represents $3,000. So if you want to know what that is, 53.4% return on $3,000 times 54.3%. That would be $1,629 would be your return, the money that you make in 30 days. So you'd make $1,600, which is basically what it's tracking and doing right now. And just out of curiosity, if you're interested, what would that actually wind up being? And I actually forgot the exact number. 3.56 divided by 2, 7. That's not right. Sorry. I just want to get that 1 day rate of return again. 3.56. I probably pushed times, didn't I? Yeah, divided by 2. We've got a 1.78% return. And if you times that by 365 and what you're going to be getting your return over the course of an entire year, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy. Numbers that are definitely possible. This is happening for people, and that's on $50 a day. Let's move on to the next one here, which is this one here. And that is another one that's gone on for 22 days. And it's made me quite a bit less, about half, $351, which is 11.49%. So just based on the numbers we just ran, that one is going to be giving me roughly about $25 a day in profit. And we've got one more here, which is kind of in the middle of those two. And this one has again been going for 22 days, and it's made me $558, and that is a 16.9% return. In any event, the returns that we're getting here are amazing compared to what you would get anywhere else. If you're looking at what your banks can offer, I mean, you're lucky if you're getting half of 1% these days. And I mean, they're almost charging us to save our money with them. The stock market, well, yeah, it's on a run right now. It's definitely going up, but we know it's going to be going down at some point too. And what we don't know is when, and if we're going to be lucky and in a position where we're able to have timed it. because the timing of the market is such a difficult thing, right? Knowing when it's low and when it's high is so easy once we've been there, once we can look back and go, oh, but when you're in it, and especially when there's emotion involved, which is another great thing about this whole system, it's automated, and it's automation. It takes all that emotion out, because you are not making these decisions. You're not falling in love with the name of this coin and going to carry it on because you think it sounds, or whatever the coin represents in the real world, and stuff like that. It's numbers, and those bots buy and sell based on the parameters that Dan came up with and that we put in. So it's doing the right thing no matter how you feel about it, right? Which is the great point. So yeah, and I just want to show you one more thing on my account here, just to scroll down into a little bit different area. Let's pick this one in the middle here that I'm liking so much. Oh, it's out of range though. Okay, let's do this one at the bottom. If you click on this graph here, it'll take you to a different place in the Bitsgap software that will show you more information. So what you've got here is you can see what your current funds are, what your current value is, the amount of profit that you've got. And I like to start by looking at this number here, because this is your initial investment, which is $3,291.84. So a little bit more than $3,000. But that's the initial amount of money that you put in, because sometimes that's hard to find, because your profits get added to that automatically on the other screen. So you never really know unless you remember and wrote it down, which is something I highly recommend doing. But if you look over here, that is your original investment in. The profit that you've made so far is the $817, and those two numbers added together give you this complete balance, which is the $4,109. So this is a good screen to come to if you need to look at that. And it also shows you again what your transactions are, 6,100 transactions over 22 days. And if you scroll down a bit, this is a graph showing you what has happened since you started this bot, since you started this trade. So if it's been many days, this blue line will be really long and you'll have to scroll it across. But in this case, it's not. And it just shows you on each one of these days what amount was purchased, so that if you ever want to do some of that deep analyzing, you can. But if you look here, it'll show you what your order status is. And in this case, I guess it's taking a minute to populate. It's going to let us know what all the transactions have been since we've opened up this particular bot. That's about it for this one. And I wanted to also let you know that if you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to this channel, and go ahead and put the bell, click on that bell and get notified when by that I mean to say YouTube will notify you when I do another video, and it'll just nice and gently pop up in your YouTube feed, suggested recommended videos to watch down below. It's nothing crazy like an email or a text or something like that. It's just a recommendation from YouTube because you said that you liked it. So they'll show you anytime that I make an update. And I would like to strongly encourage you to watch these updates, because you will see and learn from a regular person who probably like you, who didn't know anything about crypto and learned and is on the road. And I'm already now at this point, I'm real close to doubling my money thanks to that $6,000 in 6 days one. Which is just awesome. I'm so excited about it. You have to go watch that video if you haven't seen it yet. But yeah, it's super exciting, and I think you're going to want to see what comes up in the near term. And the last thing I just want to leave you with as well is a reminder that the final beta version of the plan is going to be offered very, very soon. Probably within about a week is when it's going to be a possibility for you to watch the live training that Dan puts on. So if you're interested in that, please go ahead and hit the link below to be added to the wait list. And when you're on that wait list, I will reach out to you and let you know once we have the information from Dan when the training is going to be. And it's a free training webinar that he does where he goes into incredible detail about all of it. And I watch them every time because they're so informative and there's new information coming from him constantly. It will definitely be worth your time to check that out. And like I say, this is going to be the last beta offering that they do for the course. And what does that mean? It means that at this point, they feel they have gone really, really close to perfecting the entire course and polishing it up and making it perfect, which is what they've done over these 3 times. So in a way, myself and the other folks who've gotten in, and perhaps you, if you're going to join the beta 3, have been a little bit of a guinea pig to go through the system, to be using it, to be finding out what kind of problems we come up against, what kind of challenges happen for us, where we go, what's next, what should have been put here instead of there, and just making the course seamless and flow in the exact right way so that as the new students come in with the polished version, it just unfolds beautifully. Right? That's the whole point. And that's how all really good trainings and courses are actually created, on the fly until it's perfect. And then you pay the full price, right? The full polished price. And that's the thing. So this will be the last time to get in at the discounted rate. The next time it's opened up, which might be later this year, I'm not even sure at this point if it's going to be or not. So that's another really good reason to consider jumping on board sooner than later, because not only will you get the best possible price you can for the training program, but it will also enable you to get in and start learning and doing this. And even if you're in a position where you might not have all the funds, because the course, the beta course itself costs $2,500, and you do need at least $3,000 per bot. So if you're in a position where you need to raise a little bit more capital to get up to that level, there's several things you can do. There's actually a training method in the plan as well that Dan shows us how you can actually save that money quicker than you could outside in traditional methods, traditional mediums that we normally use. So you get what you need to do together faster by being involved now. But the other thing is you can also take up the payment option if you wanted to, where you can join for, I think it's a 3 pay of $1,000 each. So you do pay a little bit more for that option, but if that's what it takes to enable you to get in, I say do it. And I've got a couple of people from the last opening, a couple of my clients who bought in knowing that they were going to have to save and wait before they could actually have enough money to invest at the capital in one bot. And that's such a smart decision to get going now, because all the training that they're getting, they're going to be ready to go when they have that money. It's going to be, oh, let's open the gates and get going immediately, as opposed to some other people who sometimes you might be a little bit unsure about what to do next and just have not, really done as much training as you maybe should have to actually start out with your real money. So anyway, I just want to say I wouldn't wait if any of those reasons are something that is floating in your mind right now. If you want to discuss any of this further, by all means, let me know. And please go ahead and comment below too if you've got any questions or comments on this video. And yeah, if you've enjoyed it and you want to see more, like and subscribe. And I will look forward to coming to you on the next video. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day and a prosperous day.